Hello and welcome to the channel. Y'all, it is August and I have not given you all a tour this month. I don't remember when I last gave you a tour. So today we're going to go in the garden and I'm going to show you what thrives in my South Texas garden. Not everything thrives. Some things struggle. They hang on the best they can. But I'm going to show you just a few things that really take this 100-degree heat like a champ. So let's get into the garden and let's see what we can find. The porch light is on. That means I really need to be in the house. But I spent some time out here watering. I haven't really been out here as much as I need to because it's just been so incredibly hot. And I have learned my lesson to the point to where I don't want heat stroke. I don't want the feeling of almost having heat stroke. So yeah, not doing a whole lot outside. But the garden is doing what the garden is doing. Let me show you. As you can see behind me, I have a lot growing in my garden. Excuse my hat, y'all. And a lot of it is doing what it's doing in the August heat because it doesn't mind the hot 100 plus degrees. It's overgrown, it's getting on my last nerves, but it's my garden. So let me show you some of the things that I really am ready for it to die back. But it's not going to yet because I get roughly 250 plus days of summer or warm temps or hot temps, hottish, warmish temps, and I can grow for a long time. So this is going to be growing for quite a while longer. We're starting where I look out when I come outside, which is the cattle panel, the arch that I'm going to actually build a new one this fall or winter time because that I'm sick of looking at it and it's got to go bye-bye. But let's start over here. The cattle panel garden is doing okay, so and so. I've got some ginger that needs to be harvested. Some of it is still kind of coming up. I've got several pots here, here, and all the way in the back there. You can't see it, but it's right there. The bananas are doing the banana thing like they do every year. They're amazing. I think I put a post on the community post about my bananas. I'm proud of the bananas. Even though they have yet to give me a rack, they are beautiful and I use them as fertilizer because they have not produced a rack yet. Haven't been successful with corn. I've tried in the ground. I've tried in containers. I think I just need to not bother with corn. It's not my thing. I hope you guys could hear me. My microphone has fallen into my shirt. So this is the red roselle. The seeds fell in the ground last year when I was harvesting it from inside of the cattle panel right there. And this is about 4, maybe 5 plants. And it is a massive bunch of roselle. And I am regretting my life. I have to shift it out of the way every time I try to walk through here because it is leaning across the path. And as you can see, I've tried to kind of move it around, but the roselle grows great in this Texas heat. Let me show you the other side. This is the roselle. Let me back up. That's all the roselle. And I put a bucket there that's picking it up because it was literally laying in the aisle and I could not pass. So I've got a tiny bit of area here where I can inch by, but the roselle has taken over. I'm not going to pull it out. I wanted to produce as many calyxes as possible. And as soon as the calyxes are ready to harvest, I'll be harvesting them. I'm not using this plant this year for seed. My plants last year were for seed. This is straight for the calyxes. It is massive, but it's beautiful. Chaotic South Texas garden. Over here behind the roselle, this was a plant that my neighbor gave me. This is a pineapple. I don't think that's going to be a good pineapple, but you all tell me. I've never had a pineapple actually make a pineapple before, and it looks like it's not good. Is it good? Somebody tell me in the comment section. Is it supposed to be green or is it supposed to look like that? It's pokey. It's really pokey. I don't like the leaves because they're sharp and they scratch. But I'm very pleased at this pineapple, and I really hope that it gets to ripen so I can take it off, because I would love to eat my very own pineapple grown from my garden. Under there, I have one of two turmeric groves, and the turmeric is looking really good in all those areas. Y'all, I'm hearing noises. I'm gonna have to get in this house. Y'all know I don't like being outside when the porch light is on. I'm that kind of kid. The garlic chives are beginning to go up, throw up seeds again. They look raggedy. I've cut them down at least 3 times and harvested the garlic chives, and I will have to harvest them again. The tips are turning brown on some of them, but this one here is beginning to give seeds, so I'm excited about that. I have used my garlic chives a lot this year. The walking onions have walked and they have dropped onions inside of the container, so I'll be happy to see more walking onions come up because my sister wants some of those, so that's exciting. I've never used them before, so I hope they stay alive and give me more baby walking onions. Malabar spinach is on the other side, or the back side of the roselle. The roselle is covering my mustard pot, so there's nothing growing in that pot right now because the roselle is covering it, and it's not getting any sun. So I'm going to have to figure something out because I need that pot to put mustard in it. I've got baby mustards growing, and they will need to have a place to go. The Malabar spinach is looking really raggedy on this end. Everything has been watered today. It is growing out of the ground, and it is really putting on. I've had to cut it back twice already, and it is flushing out again. It's trying to throw seed. I don't need any more seeds. This is strictly for the leaves, so I'm hoping to get more Malabar spinach harvested and put in the house, put it up and or eat it. But the Malabar spinach takes this summer heat very well. One of the 3 moringas that I have, and as you can see, it's been harvested because its trunk is a naked, but it has a little bit still up there at the top. I will need to harvest my moringa again, but the moringa takes this summer sun. I have basil all over the garden. I've got holy basil and sweet basil. I only had 1 sweet basil this year, so I'm letting that really grow tall and bush so that I can cut it all down at one time and make some pesto. But I've got holy basil spread out all over the garden, and I've been harvesting that, drying it for tea, and taking it back in the garden. The asparagus, the malanga, the longevity spinach, the taro root, and a little bit of the Swiss chard is doing quite well in this summer heat. So I'm excited about that. It loves the summer heat. The other plant that loves the summer heat is this bitter melon. I cut it back in a previous video, and it is back with a vengeance. I will be cutting it back again because I don't want it crawling up the cattle panel. Excuse the noise. I've got a neighbor on the backside that's revving his motorcycle. Hopefully he'll take off and go away soon. Oh, sounds like he's done that. But yes, the bitter melon will take over, and it loves this summer heat. The sweet potatoes love the summer heat as well. They're not as vigorous, the vines, as they have been in the past, but all honesty, I haven't been watering them the way I need to. But I did give everything a water this evening, and so the sweet potatoes are looking pretty good. Excuse all the death in there. That's some of the cucumber that died back that I will need to take those dead leaves out. On this side in the back, as you can see, I have holy basil popping out. I did put holy basil everywhere. The callaloo is growing out of the ground because the callaloo has been harvested twice, but yet it's continuing to put on leaves. You can tell it's been harvested because it looks really horrible, but I will need to cut it back again. Just cut it all the way down and get rid of those seed pods because it doesn't have that many leaves on it because, again, it's been harvested. But it dropped some seed in the ground. I'm letting that grow as a catch crop. Over here, again, holy basil, I'm letting that grow and basically naturalize and drop seed because I want it in the garden all over the place. Let's see, that's pretty much it down here except for the garlic chives, and you all saw that. The trees are doing okay. This is the moringa that I put in the ground, and it is almost as tall as the shed. I will need to top her. I didn't want her to be that tall, but yeah, that's where she's at, all the way up there. I will top her this fall before it gets cold because I want to try to overwinter her so that she doesn't die all the way back to the ground. The olive, there was a problem with the olive at some point. Something happened, and this whole limb right here began to, the leaves began to die. That's the one I air layered, so I will have to check and see what's going on with that. The rest of the tree looks great, but that one limb has had a bit of a fit, so I've got to check that out. The figs look great as well over here. Y'all have to excuse me. I'm trying to go around all the stuff in the way. The figs look great. This is the one that my girlfriend gave me. She gave me a little bitty piece of it, and it is like shot up out the pot. This is the Chicago Hardy that I showed you all in a video in the last tour that was looking really raggedy. It has put leaves back on. This is the original mother right here. It has a couple ugly leaves right there I'll have to take off, but she looks good too. And everything's been watered over here. The pomegranate did lose some leaves, but again, it's been crazy hot. And it's actually dark out here, y'all. So I'm going to work my way back towards the door and we're going to wrap it up. Plant that loves the summer heat is this plant right here. I have two of them. This is the shorter of the two. This is a castor bean plant, and it is thriving in the summer heat. I'll show you the other one. Right there, behind the nectarine tree, all the way up there, that's extremely tall. That is as tall as a shed. Yeah, that's about as tall as a shed. And that right there is the other castor bean plant. And I've been trying to take off the seed pods before they form. I don't need any more seeds for the castor bean plant. I have what seems like hundreds of them, but I grew it this year because I really love how big and beautiful it is and how the leaves are green and red. Y'all know I love me some red, but the castor bean plant loves the summer. Last but not least is the butterfly pea mess. Y'all see that? It is as tall as a shed, and I didn't want it to get that big, but that's what happens. It is putting on flowers. I do have some seeds that fell into the ground. Those are individual plants that I've been getting rid of. This whole thing, this whole aisle was full of butterfly pea seedlings, and I've been getting rid of them. There's only a few left here and some back behind there. I had to put that piece of bifold to push them up so that I could walk through the path because it's just way too much going on. But the butterfly pea absolutely adores this summer heat. It has taken over this archway, and I'll be taking this archway down in the winter and building one out of wood. So fingers crossed that I don't mess that up, but I'm going to attempt that. So that is what's loving the heat in my summer garden. Isn't that a lot going on there? My goodness. Everybody, hope y'all heard that. This microphone has been falling in my shirt. I didn't want to lose it because it's the new one. I apologize if that was quick and I was running through the video, but I just wanted to show you all some of the things that grow very well in my South Texas garden. And I'm sure I've missed something, but that's enough, right? I have a really big garden, and it's hard to include all the things in the back garden that I grow for eating and for harvesting for herbs. I do have herbs that grow well in the heat of the summer, but not quite well in the full sun. The only ones that do well in the full sun are the rosemaries, and I have one that I'm going to up pot because I think that it's suffering in the pot that it's in because it's a lot smaller than its counterpart on the other side, and they were the same size when I put them in, and they've been in the pots for the same length of time. So I need to take that one out. It looks like that one might be going to flower, so that's exciting. I'm going to wait and see if it goes to flower, and maybe it'll give me some seeds. How exciting. Well, y'all, I know y'all can tell the porch light is on. It is very dark out here. Y'all know being out here in the dark gives me the heebie-jeebies because of the mosquitoes and all the creepy crawlies that come out when it's time for them to forage or do whatever they do. And so I want to thank you for joining me in my very hot South Texas garden. There's a lot growing here in the garden. There are some things that, like I mentioned, that are suffering from the heat. But my goal for 2027 is to try and eliminate putting anything in that requires me to do a lot of struggling myself because they don't do well in this climate. I'm trying to work on only putting in things that work in the climate. I'm trying to increase the size of my containers, and I'm trying to feed more and make sure that the garden has adequate water. And for me, that has been a struggle for the past 2 years. The first year when I moved into my house, the irrigation worked perfectly. The second and third year, it has struggled to work, and it's not because I have too many containers on the system. I believe the city has done something to the water pressure. I think I mentioned that before in a previous video, because my neighbor across the street, her water pressure is trash. And my inside water pressure seems to be fine, but I feel like my outside water pressure just isn't adequate enough, and I don't know how to fix that. So if anybody has any ideas of what I could do, um, that wouldn't require me calling a plumber, because I've actually done that and he wasn't any help. Um, I don't think he really wanted to tackle it. I think that there are some people who, when they see your garden, if it's as large and full as mine, they kind of go, and they just don't want to bother. Or they charge you an exorbitant fee because they want to deter having to work in your garden. No, y'all, the mosquitoes are getting me, so I got to go. But I want to thank you all for joining me in the garden. I really appreciate you coming each and every time I put up a video. And I do apologize for not getting a long length video out. I think it was Saturday. But life is lifing, and it goes on whether or not you participate. Um, and so sometimes, things get ahead of you, and you've got to take care of those matters above all else. So with that being said, hit that like button. If you have not subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel. Leave me a comment, and I hope to see you in the next one. And if no one's told you today that you are loved, wanted, and very much needed in this world, you are. If you haven't heard from someone in a while, check on them, check on your friends, check on your family, because people need to hear your voice. And sometimes even the strongest of your friends need you to check on them sometimes. They really do. So call somebody. Don't text them. Let them hear your voice. Let them know you're thinking about them. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye, y'all. Can somebody do something about these mosquitoes? I'm so tired of mosquitoes. Why do we have to have them in the world? I don't get it. They don't seem as if they serve a purpose other than to spread disease. All right, y'all, that's enough. See y'all later. Bye, y'all.